Welcome to Swinger University, your horizontal enrichment program, offering you the naked facts about swinging. Here are your hosts, Ed and Phoebe.
Hi, this is Ed.
And this is Phoebe.
We're recording day 2 at the LLV Costa Rica Takeover.
Yes. Oh my goodness. If you haven't heard by our voices yet, they're a little raspy. Mine especially. Lots of talking and screaming and, you know. It was a full day of talking and then talking over music in the dance club and things like that. So I'm a little hoarse, and our energy is a little lower today because it was a very busy day. But we did get some rest. So we're gonna start off with what happened yesterday, midday through midday today.
Right. So we did the whole kayaking thing.
Yeah.
Came back to the room, recorded, and then we took it from there.
Yeah. Down to the pool. And there was a lot of pool time yesterday. A lot of people, that's pretty much what they did. There was no excursions. They have, like we had mentioned before, they have 2 pools. They have a lower pool, which they call the hot tub pool because it's smaller, but it's not really that small.
Or much hotter than the regular pool. So,
yeah, maybe that's it.
there you go.
And then the upper pool. And so the lower pool was happening. I mean, that's where it was at. It's a little more intimate a setting. It's more surrounded by the jungle, kind of just envelops you. And because of its nice round shape and the swim-up bar, it seems a lot of people really liked that area for gathering.
Right.
There was no music and no shade, but that's where everyone wanted to be because small. It's like a kitchen, right? Everyone wants to pack into a small space. And there was a bar, so it was like...
Yeah. And the swim-up bar was where most people were hanging out.
Yeah. So because of the no shade and me not wanting to be in the water all day to protect the hoo-ha and make sure she was in fighting shape, I couldn't stay in the water for too long, and I am white as a ghost based on my German heritage, so I could not be in the sun for very long. I mean, my fake tan looks lovely, but I'd be applying sunscreen every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we spent time in the upper pool, which was just as lovely. A little less people, but they had music, which I loved, and people would rotate in and out. And we found our throuple couple up there, so we hung with them and chatted with them quite a bit. And then as the new people rotated in, the group got bigger.
Yeah, and it was a pretty steady stream of new people that we got to meet.
Yeah.
And, where are you from? What's your thing?
Yeah. It was all very interesting, very nice, lovely people. And then at some point, volleyball started, which was super sexy to watch. Naked volleyball. Boobs bouncing up and down in the water. So great.
A fair amount of that. There was some nipple O-ring play, which was fun.
I did participate in that.
Yeah, and you discovered that you shouldn't keep them on for too long.
I know. My poor nipples. My gosh. Yeah, so they got, as if you've never used them, they got engorged, and so they swelled, and so that made getting the O-ring off even harder.
Yeah.
Because they'd been on too long. And so they were starting to turn purple, and I said, oh my God, we need to take these off. And so Ed was trying to be very, very gentle. And then at one point he said, baby, I'm just going to have to rip the Band-Aid off, basically. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So
even the saliva and the sucking didn't help too much.
Water, though, it's amazing. Even like with a ring, on your finger.
Your fingers swell up.
It's the oil that really does help, but we didn't have any, and we need to get them off soon. So, anyway.
Yes.
The nipples were saved.
And what else did you get for your nipples?
Oh, a nice triangle, hot orange, well, neon orange LLV triangle bikini.
Yeah.
With a tiny little triangle front and a tiny little triangle in the back.
Very tiny triangles.
4 little tiny triangles, all kind of semi-connected.
Yeah.
So it was super sexy, and their logo is really great. So it was really fun. They had a table selling them, and of course I wanted to buy one. Oh my God, they were only $30. I'm like, 2 please. I almost bought 3 because it was like one in every. They actually had 4. I should have just bought all 4, but I got a hot neon orange and then a purple, very bright, brilliant purple, which will look great against my red hair. Mm-hmm. That was the logic. The purple
and the
red hair. Yeah, that's where the decision went.
That makes sense.
Red, purple. I don't know. Went with purple.
I'm happy that you're getting skimpy little bikinis.
So I rocked that bathing suit, not like I needed one, because I think I brought 6 bathing suits. And not like you need those either at a naked resort. But,
Right.
It's fun to just prance around and,
It's like a costume change.
Yeah. But it is interesting, I will say, as I commented to Ed as we were walking to the pool the other day in my LLV bathing suit. I said, I've never been comfortable walking around in a 2-piece ever until really recently. Like,
and
never as a
fabulous.
teenager, never in my younger adult years. I never was ever that comfortable doing that. I saw people do it. I wanted to be comfortable doing that. But not until I became a swinger.
and late in the swinger game.
Yeah. So it's amazing how you just evolve and change, and based on everyone's background and upbringing and programming, you got what you got. You work with what you got, and you grow and you change and you move and you evolve and you become different, and freer and all that good stuff. Whatever, the world is your oyster for however you want to experience it.
Absolutely. And you realize when people are hitting on you, you are actually hot. And you start to embrace it.
Yeah. So yesterday was a good day, and then we took a nap after that long day of being in the sun. We took a nap before dinner.
A little cooked.
Mm-hmm.
A little extra crispy.
Got cooked.
Yeah.
Ed used sunscreen, but Ed got cooked.
And a number of people did. We were noticing the ruddy hue of most of the people running around.
I am surprised people are down out in the sun right now at the pool. I don't know how they do it, but when you get the we'll talk about that later. What happens when you get too much sun, too much drinking, and too much pool time?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So dinner was great and fabulous. Oh my gosh. Again, food is so good. Seafood, chicken, roast. Was it roast beef? What was it? Ribs.
It was prime rib.
Prime rib.
Prime rib was not so good.
I think it was overcooked. It was tough.
Yeah,
I could
it
not
was a
get
little,
my butter knife through it.
a little gnawing.
Yeah, but the fish, oh, so fabulous. And even the chicken and all the different dishes and the sweet potato, like everything here tastes different. Like it was a mashed sweet potatoes, but did not taste like our sweet potatoes, right?
Right.
We were talking about this yesterday. The quote tamale here tastes totally different from a tamale there. Now I understand there's lots of different kinds of tamales, but still tasted completely different. Broccoli tastes different. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, and different squash and different vegetables, fruits. It's just, I have so much fun just tasting everything. So that's what I do. I get a little plate of every little thing, I sample every little thing, and then I, get to experience
And
it
there's
all.
plenty of choices, so
Mm-hmm. Because it's like a lifestyle. There's plenty of choices to sample from. Ah, so lovely. So theme night was devil and angel. And holy crap. Okay, so the party started at 9.
yeah, about that.
Yeah. And during So explain the bars, how they had it. There's two of them.
Yeah, so there's kind of a dance floor area, and right next to the dance floor, they have a disco indoors, which is also a karaoke bar, and we tolerated it to get a drink, and then we got out.
Until someone started singing Johnny Cash's
Ring of
song,
Fire.
Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
And I love that song by Johnny Cash. But when somebody else was singing it, not so great.
It's hit and miss. I mean, karaoke is kind of a throwing a dart at a wall.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. You just you never know. Your mileage will vary. But right next door to that is a more formal bar, and you can go in and get drinks made.
But the disco, well, they called that the disco inside with the air conditioning and karaoke. But then outside, near the lobby, they converted a seating area into the larger dance floor with lights.
Right.
Big
Video
DJ,
screens.
Yeah.
And
Big
laser
DJs.
lights, live DJ,
Oh, he was good.
the whole thing. DJ Noise.
Yeah.
Noize.
He was really good.
Yeah,
I
he was
liked
fun.
his music. It was what I call dance music, but a lot of people will call it EDM music. But I like it because it's the energy. It keeps you going, especially me, being an introvert. I need that rhythm to just keep me going. It was so fun.
Yeah, and it's the EDM with kind of traditional songs
Yeah.
mixed in with the bass line, the beats.
Yeah. And
So it's
older
fun.
songs like some 80s stuff was mixed in there with a new beat. And I was like, oh my God, I love this song from the 80s, but it's like new and hip and different. You know.
Yeah.
You've all been there. You get it.
Good times.
So it was fun. The dancing was fun. They rotated out 2 separate buffets. So they brought out one buffet of all kinds of finger food and snacks early on in the evening after, this is after dinner, once
Right.
the club thing started. And then everyone snacked all that up. And then they went and brought another one out later in the evening around 11:30, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe midnight. So it was nice. There was constant food available for people, water, alcohol, all
Yeah.
that. There's no
Lots.
shortage. I was wondering if they were going to run out of alcohol, but they don't know. Because the bottles, you can tell them, they drop quite a bit, the levels you go in. Outfits? Oh, man. The Devil Angel outfits.
Crazy.
People really did a great job, and they put some effort into it. I mean, they're sexy, but it was basically just fucking sexy lingerie and bodysuits walking around.
Wings, feathers, lots of butts hanging out, breasts overflowing,
Yeah,
just
thigh-high stockings, sexy shoes.
strappy, pointy, yummy stuff wandering around. It
The
was
high hip butt cheek exposed thing was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I thought that was so fabulous. There was a lot of butts everywhere. A lot of butts.
yes.
This one woman's dress. Oh my God. Amazing. It was red. You have to explain this dress.
I have a hard time forming words when I'm thinking of that dress. I get tongue tied and there's swelling involved.
This woman is gorgeous.
She's my type.
Beautiful.
She is totally my type.
Jet black hair, straight in this gorgeous bob that almost touches the top of her shoulders.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful hair, beautiful accent, and she's
Perfectly round breasts and butt
And hips.
legs. And so this dress that she's wearing is a halter top, but it's a really wide halter.
Yeah.
So it's like side boob and cleavage right in the middle. Like, it's like a foot of cleavage just right there in your face. And then down the back, there's these elastic kind of ladder rungs that run all the way down to the bottom.
About
And
an inch wide
Yeah, about an inch wide.
and maybe 4 inches.
And like a 2-inch gap in between each one. So it's just all spine, lower back, butt crack, and of course, no panties.
Of course not.
And what's even better is if she stands with light behind her, it's actually see-through too. So you can see the shadow between her thighs. And
Yeah.
like I said, speechless.
Yeah.
Hot.
I think for some reason that was the sexiest dress, and I'm not sure why. Even though there were so many sexy outfits. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
People were very, very creative. I actually was overdressed in my
In your bra and panties with a completely see-through
sheer
kind
long
of cover-up.
cover up. Yeah. With like butterflies all over it. Yeah. I was overdressed.
Yeah.
I would have been better just walking around in the bra
And the bra and the panties.
And eventually
Because your
I did.
shoes.
Right.
Because you had amazing shoes. Everybody loved your shoes. They were lace up all the way up over the calf. So they were like the wraparound crisscross straps.
Yes.
Ran all the
and
way up.
everything was it basically looks like diamonds, right?
Right.
Sparkles.
The heels, the soles of the shoe, the top of the shoe, the straps that went up the leg.
All diamonds.
Sparkles.
Sparkles. And the shoes had butterflies on them. The cover up has butterflies. The bra had blue butterflies.
Right.
There's a theme. Headband had butterflies.
And you were wearing your Victoria's Secret sparkly panties
Right.
that have the little bedazzled straps on the side.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
by the end of the night, I was just in my high heels, panties, and a bra because I got hot.
To be
then
clear,
everyone-
she was hot before the evening started.
And then everyone was like, "Oh my God, we didn't even see her shoes." I'm like, "Wait, you didn't even see my shoes?" Oh man, I should have taken this off a long time ago. So
Yeah.
tonight,
No cover up.
no, tonight's animal night, and
Oh, that dress. Oh, you're going to be the equivalent of the red dress, but in animal print
Yes.
and see-through lace.
see-through lace, nothing.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves because that's for tomorrow's episode. But we'll tease you a little bit.
So
It wasn't all fun and games. At some point, a woman did kind of. She either slipped and fell, or
I think she passed out.
Passed out,
And
or
fell.
she
Yeah.
stumbled and fell, and then was. Yeah,
It was a bit scary.
it was a little-
She was dehydrated and had passed out. Of course, there's nurses here. So, yay to the nurses. Nurses to the rescue and nurses in the lifestyle. I love you. So they were there taking care of her. I love it. I can always tell a nurse at a party because they all have that same similar training. They ask the same questions. They support people in the same way with support the head.
Right.
They, all the things that they do, there's a pattern of how they care for somebody. And I knew she was in really good hands, but it was scary. When you see someone's eyes roll in the back of their head,
it's
it's
freaky.
fucking disturbing because
Yeah.
they look dead. She looked dead, but she was not. She was just very dehydrated. So they brought her back to life and
Rehydrated her.
rehydrated her. So, but one other thing, we'll wrap around back to that. So, when you go to these events, we have a good friend of ours that has a phrase, and he says,
You got to train for this shit.
exactly. So, when you spent thousands of dollars to get here on a flight, $1,000 or more to stay here, it's a swinger resort, right? So whether you actually maybe you don't come to have sex, I don't know. We come to have sex. So we don't come just for the drinking, the partying, because we can drink and party at home because we have that there. So we train for this. We make sure we hydrate. We make sure we're not in the pool too long because that dehydrates you. The alcohol dehydrates you, and it's really hard to keep up with your water consumption. I tried my best to keep up with my water consumption yesterday, and I'm still dehydrated.
Right.
So you have to just be mindful. It's difficult. You're like a kid in a candy box, with a candy box, and you're like, oh my God, I just want to do everything. I want to be with everybody, blah, 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 blah. And you kind of forget that you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
In order to survive the week. As it is, there's a couple of people at breakfast, wives on their own because their husband was not going to get out of bed all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck no.
He did finally wander down, but yeah, he was a little cooked.
A little cooked, yeah. I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars to lay in bed in my hotel resort all day long.
Right.
Not going to happen.
So that's the big trick, right? But, pace yourself, drink in moderation for two really good reasons. One, you don't want to pass out or be sick on somebody, and you don't want your dick to stay limp all night. So
that too.
That
too.
Maybe that's reason number one.
Yes. And I don't even know if anyone was in the playroom last night. So many people were on the dance floor. I don't think anyone got to the playroom. We didn't get to the playroom.
We visited the playroom to see
night.
that it wasn't set up the first night, and then we haven't been back.
I know. Because we have, even though I said we're here to fuck, we have had a lot of fun time making the connections.
Right.
But no one is actually, I think people are still getting their feet wet, so to speak, still making those connections. I have a feeling towards the end of the week, people will start actually.
Well, we're hoping to start getting other things wet soon.
Yes.
And transition.
We're going to start making more direct offers.
Yes.
Hey,
I've
would
got
you like
my
to meet
list.
us in the playroom? Yes. Would you
have
like
a
to
list.
meet us at our bedroom?
Start dragging people.
Yes, we are going to start dragging people. Yeah, today is the day. Most people are out on excursions, so, hopefully not in the sun, hopefully not too tired today.
And maybe the people who are off doing excursions will miss out on some daytime shenanigans.
They also did have a photographer up there last night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we're going to get those photos, but they were sexy.
We'll figure that out.
Yes. So there's an on-site photographer. Let's see. What else? Oh, later in the evening, they tried to get a bunch of people to go to the lower hot tub pool.
Right.
To use it as like an outdoor playroom.
We were all over that.
Yeah. So we went down, and there really wasn't anyone there. People kind of trickled in, and they didn't really have it set up for that. It was
not enough light, not enough people.
No towels were out, so it was kind of I don't know. And what do you do it on, like the lawn, the sun
I think
chair?
you'd have to do it on the lounge furniture, which we have done before, and it's uncomfortable, and you do end up with road rash on the insides of your knees.
Yes. Yeah.
I can attest to that.
Yes. That was fun. That was a fun night, though. So if they had beds down there, then yes, I think more people would have. But they were trying to get something going. But instead, instead of playing, we met a really nice couple.
Mm-hmm.
And
we'd been talking to them in the pool earlier in the day, but it was nice to kind of continue the conversation. You had gone to get drinks at some point on the dance floor, and I was standing talking to the lady of the couple, Austin couple, and I had asked her earlier in the day of what their play style was, and so she asked me what ours was, and of course we're full swap, but we really like soft swap. We love the foreplay and the touching and the kissing and all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that little conversation, and then we saw them again down at the lower pool.
Mm-hmm. And so I asked them, how they got into it. And it was interesting, their experience, because they, as a couple, would go out on date nights, and they felt kind of basically judged by the community or other people in the venue where they went to have their date night, dancing and things like that, about how they felt judged about how they expressed their affection for one another.
Right.
You know, they're
It was
all having
almost
a good
like-
time. They're dressed up sexy. Maybe they're dancing sexy or kissing each other, but they felt like they were being stared at for, like it was weird, like that was weird.
Right.
And they thought, wow, that's... So they just felt constrained by their community, like they couldn't really express who they were and how they felt for one another openly.
Right.
And
this is a married couple.
Yeah.
This is a couple who've been married for like 14 years.
Have a couple kids, yeah. And so that kind of spurred on the whole, well, gosh, you know, this is kind of...
Maybe we need better
up.
friends kind of thing.
Yeah, isn't there something else better out there? I mean, a more friendly, open community? How do we... So the husband started listening to some podcasts. He figures out, oh yeah, there are people, like-minded people, open-minded people. Happens to be a swinger community. And so they started checking, they listened to podcasts, and then they checked out some of the local swinger venues
Right.
in their area. And they found that, yeah, they can go, they can have a good time. They don't have to swing. They just really liked being in that environment,
Right.
which is great. You know, we hear this all the time. Even on the Bliss Cruise, people come, they hang out with all the open-minded people, but they don't swing
Right.
at all. And so they did that for a little while, and then they kind of thought, well, you know, I don't know, maybe it might be kind of nice to, you know, try a little soft, you know, here and there. And, you know, when you get in those environments and you start to see how your sexuality gets to expand and how exciting it is by having sex with your partner next to somebody else who's having sex with their partner, and how just like
Who gets to do that?
like it's just so, the sensory overload and the energy and everything is just so fascinating, you know. And then, you know, at some point you may want to extend that into more touching for more soft, and then maybe full, but you don't even have to do that. But it was nice. It was a nice story to figure out, you know, how they got into that. I feel badly that they couldn't just be themselves in their own community, that they, like, wow, that's
Yeah.
just fucked up. So
It's
we're,
strange. But I don't think we ever felt that, but maybe
But-
we just didn't give a...
we don't have that in our area, because we have, you know, we're near San Francisco, so we have, you know, a very large LGBTQ community in San Francisco and even in Sacramento. And we have a bar called Faces, and they have 3 dance clubs in this one bar. It's a massive thing.
Right.
So you have like more of the hip hop bar music in one area. Then they have a country section, which changes themes during the middle of the night. So it switches over to something else. Then they have more of the EDM dance music on the third one. That's where the sexy gay men stand on their little platforms with their
Oh,
little
the
boy
little go-go
shorts.
dancer guys.
Go-go
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so fucking hot. You can put money in their you know, pants and touch them, and so nice. And I know, I love Faces, but you know, that's what it is. It's like there's something for everybody, so you can express
Yeah.
yourself. They have a unisex bathroom, so you walk in. First time I walked in, I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong bathroom. Nope, it's unisex. I was man standing there at the urinal peeing. I was like, okay, that's cool. A couple men come out of the bathroom from a single stall together. I'm like, okay, I know what's going on in there. Wow, this is really cool. My mind was blown. This is all before swinging, right? I was like, wow, this is so cool. So anyway, once again, very fortunate to live in a community that's very open in that regard. Eventually, we say goodbye to our lovely couple, and then we're in bed at 3 a.m.
It was a very full day.
Full day. So people are out doing excursions. People were exercising today, and we are going to walk the property because it's massive. It is a huge piece of property, and we are going to get some serious steps in, and hills, lots of hills, and lots of climbing, and lots of steps.
Yeah.
Literally steps.
So we're going to check some stuff out, and then tonight's theme, the animal, jungle theme,
Jungle.
going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we will talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
Before you turn off our podcast to take care of all the vanilla things pulling you away, please reach out and give us a review. I know mashing a star is so much easier, but a review is so much better for sharing your love of what we're doing with others. We would appreciate it. If you want to share a personal story, ask us questions, or share your comments, you can contact us at swingeruniversity@gmail.com. Check us out at swingeruniversity.com, where you can find links to our Twitter and Instagram feeds. Thank you for listening to Swinger University, your horizontal enrichment podcast.